You know what's wild? Some people finally start making more money and they feel more stressed than ever. Not because they're ungrateful, not because they're bad with money. It's because the moment your income goes up, the game changes and nobody tells you what the new rules are. And if you've ever thought, why am I still anxious when I'm doing better? I want you to stay with me. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you the real reason more income didn't calm your mind and the exact shift that actually does. Because the truth is, money doesn't buy peace, it buys options. And if your life has no real options, your stress doesn't go down. It just gets quieter and more constant. Let me start with something that might feel uncomfortable, but honest. When you were earning less, your stress had a clear source: bills, rent, groceries, survival. Your brain knew exactly what it was afraid of. But once your income increased, something strange happened. The fear didn't disappear. It changed shape. Now the stress isn't, how do I pay this? It becomes, what if I lose this? What if this doesn't last? What if one bad decision wipes everything out? And that kind of stress is harder to see, but it's heavier because it follows you everywhere. Here's what most people never realize. Stress doesn't come from low income. Stress comes from fragility, from knowing deep down that your entire lifestyle depends on things staying exactly the way they are. Your job, your health, your industry. One unexpected shock and everything feels like it could collapse. This is where biology comes in. Your brain didn't evolve to optimize spreadsheets. It evolved to keep you alive. And one of its strongest instincts is loss aversion. Neuroscience shows that the pain of losing something is felt about twice as strongly as the pleasure of gaining it. So when you make more money, your brain doesn't celebrate. It guards, it tightens, it scans for threats. Because now there's more to lose. That's why higher income often increases anxiety. You didn't become calmer, you became more invested in not falling backward. Your nervous system doesn't care about your salary. It cares about safety. And here's the key idea most people miss. Safety doesn't come from how much you earn. It comes from how replaceable your income is. Let me explain. If your lifestyle depends entirely on one paycheck, then that paycheck isn't freedom. It's a pressure point. It doesn't matter if it's $3,000 a month or $15,000 a month. If losing it would immediately create chaos, your brain stays in fight or flight mode. This is why people making six figures still feel trapped. They have nicer versions of the same problem. Bigger bills, bigger expectations, bigger commitments, and zero margin for error. So the real question isn't, how do I make more money? The real question is, how fragile is my life if something breaks? Once you see this, a lot of things start to make sense. Why raises don't bring peace, why promotions don't reduce stress, why even successful people feel like they're constantly one mistake away from disaster. They're not failing, they're just building income without building stability. Now let's talk about the silent trade most people make without realizing it. As income rises, lifestyle usually rises with it. Better apartment, better car, more subscriptions, more fixed costs. And every one of those things quietly increases your baseline stress. Not because they're bad, but because they lock you into needing your income to stay high. Your expenses become promises to your future self. Promises that say, you must keep earning this much or else. And your brain never forgets that. This is why the richest feeling moments in life often aren't when you make more money, but when you reduce dependency. When you realize you could survive a few bad months. When you know you could walk away if you had to. That sense of optionality is what actually calms the nervous system. Remember this line, money buys options, not peace. Peace comes when your options are real. So what actually fixes money stress? Not hustling harder, not chasing the next raise, not stacking income on top of a fragile foundation. What fixes stress is converting income into resilience. Let me make this practical. There are 3 layers that separate earning more from feeling safer. The first is buffer. This is boring, but powerful. Cash that exists only to buy time. Time to think. Time to respond instead of react. Time to not make desperate decisions. Most people skip this because it doesn't feel productive, but your nervous system loves it. A real buffer tells your brain, we are not in immediate danger. The second layer is diversification of income, not 10 side hustles, not burnout. Just one additional stream that proves to your brain that money doesn't only come from one source. Even a small amount changes how you feel. It breaks the illusion that everything depends on one job, one boss, one company. The third and most important layer is control. Not control over markets, control over your choices. Can you downshift if needed? Can you pause? Can you say no without panic? Stress disappears fastest when you know you have leverage over your own life. This is where a lot of people get it backwards.
They chase income first, hoping peace will come later. But peace only comes when income is structured, not just increased. Let me say that again because it matters. Income without structure creates anxiety. Structure without massive income can still create calm. This is why some people making modest money sleep better than people earning triple their income. Their lives aren't fragile. Their money serves them instead of controlling them. And once you understand this, your strategy changes. Instead of asking, how do I make more? You start asking, how do I make this safer? Instead of upgrading lifestyle, you upgrade flexibility. Instead of measuring success by income, you measure it by how many bad days you could survive. That shift alone changes everything. Now, I'm not saying money doesn't matter. It does. But money is a tool. And like any tool, it can be used to build stability or to build stress. Here's a simple test. Ask yourself this. If your income stopped tomorrow, how long before your life would feel unmanageable? Not uncomfortable, unmanageable. That number, weeks or months, is your real financial security score. And the goal isn't to impress anyone. It's to increase that number slowly, quietly, without drama. Because when that number grows, something incredible happens. Your nervous system relaxes. Your decisions improve. You stop making fear-based choices. You stop chasing every opportunity. You stop needing money to prove anything. And ironically, that's when money starts working better. People who feel safe think long-term. People who feel trapped think short-term. That difference alone explains why stress and money are so tightly linked. So if you're watching this and thinking, this explains a lot, you're not behind. You're not broken. You just reached the point where income stopped being the problem and structure became the missing piece. And that's a good place to be, because structure is learnable, buildable, fixable. You don't need to overhaul your life overnight. You don't need to quit your job or reject success. You just need to start redirecting your effort. Less chasing, more reinforcing. Less proving, more protecting. So let me leave you with this thought. The goal isn't to make money disappear your stress. The goal is to build a life where money losing power over you is even possible. Because when money stops controlling your nervous system, it finally starts serving your future. If this resonated, I'd love to know. What changed for you when your income went up? Did the stress actually go away or just change shape? Drop a comment and let's talk about it. And if you want more videos that explain money the way it actually feels, not just how it's supposed to work, subscribe. We post regularly, and the next one might connect a few more dots you didn't even realize were there.